As the silence stretched, I felt a deep ache in my chest. Not from fear anymore, but from understanding. I realized she was not trying to push me away because she did not love me. She was trying to protect something fragile. Maybe it was herself, maybe it was me. I stayed still, giving her space without leaving. That balance felt delicate but necessary. I could see her breathing slow down little by little. Her shoulders relaxed slightly. That change told me she was beginning to feel safer. I thought about how adults often rush children for answers. I promised myself I would not do that. I wanted her to speak because she felt ready, not because she felt forced. I reminded myself that trust takes time, especially in moments of fear. I looked around the room, noticing how ordinary everything was. That contrast made the tension feel even heavier. Nothing looked wrong, but everything felt wrong. I wondered what invisible weight she was carrying. I thought about the pressure children face without knowing how to name it. That thought filled me with empathy. I felt proud of myself for staying calm, even though inside I was shaking. I realized that my presence alone might be enough for now. I did not need to fix anything immediately. I only needed to be there. Her fingers twisted together nervously. I watched without interrupting. That small nervous habit reminded me of when she was younger. She used to do the same thing when she was scared. Seeing that brought back a wave of tenderness. It reminded me that she was still a child. No matter how serious her words sounded. I felt a quiet strength settle inside me. I knew I had made the right choice by staying. Even if I did not yet understand the reason. This moment was about connection, not answers. And connection was slowly being rebuilt. After what felt like a long time, she finally lifted her head. Her eyes met mine, and I could see the fear clearly now. Not fear of me, but fear of what might happen next. My heart softened even more. I nodded gently to let her know I was listening. She opened her mouth as if to speak, then closed it again. I did not rush her. I waited with patience and steady breath. That waiting felt like the hardest thing I had ever done. I wanted to protect her from everything. But I knew protection sometimes means letting someone speak in their own time. She shifted closer to me without realizing it. That small movement felt like trust returning. I felt tears in my own eyes, but I held them back. I did not want to make this about my emotions. This moment belonged to her. She finally whispered that she was scared. That single word explained everything. I leaned in slightly so she could hear my calm voice. I told her it was okay to be scared. I told her she was not alone. Her hands stopped shaking for the first time. She took a deep breath like she had been holding it for hours. I could feel the tension in the room begin to break. Whatever fear had been pushing her to send me away was loosening its grip. She did not tell me everything yet, but she told me enough to know she needed support. Not distance. Not silence. Support. I felt grateful that I had trusted my instincts. If I had left, this moment would never have happened. I realized then how close we came to missing each other. Sometimes love is about staying long enough for the truth to feel safe. That lesson settled deep inside my heart. I stayed present, focused, and calm. I knew the hardest part was almost over. Because fear loses power once it is shared. As she began to speak more, I listened without interruption. Her words came slowly, hesitant and careful, like she was testing the ground. She told me about worries I had never known about. About feelings she could not share with anyone else. The room was filled with her voice and my quiet attention. Every detail mattered to me. I could feel the weight of her emotions in the air. I realized how much children carry inside that adults often cannot see. She explained things in pieces, stopping frequently to catch her breath. I did not rush her or finish her sentences. I let her speak in her own time. With each sentence, I felt a bond growing stronger. Her trust in me was returning. It was fragile but present. I remembered all the times I had promised to be there for her no matter what. Now those promises were being tested. I felt tears threaten again, but I stayed calm. I wanted her to feel safe, not overwhelmed. She spoke of fears I had never imagined. Of moments at school, at friends, at feelings she could not name. I held her hand gently as she spoke. I nodded and whispered that I understood. I repeated that she was not alone. Even when she stumbled over her words, I stayed steady. I could feel her anxiety slowly easing. That slow release felt miraculous to witness. I realized that staying had allowed this conversation to happen. If I had obeyed her first demand, we would have missed this connection. Her voice grew stronger as she continued. Her eyes brightened slightly as she expressed herself. I felt a mix of pride, love, and relief. Pride that she could open up. Love that our bond was resilient. Relief that I had trusted my instincts. This moment was teaching me patience like never before. I realized that understanding takes time and presence, not force or demands. I listened as she shared more details, and in that listening I understood the depth of her courage. As our conversation continued, I noticed a shift in her posture. Her shoulders relaxed and her eyes no longer darted around the room. She began to speak with more confidence and less hesitation. I could feel the fear that had held her so tightly start to loosen. Each word she shared brought us closer together. I realized that this moment was about rebuilding trust. Not just listening to words, but feeling emotions together. Her small hands rested in mine, and I held them firmly but gently. I told her it was okay to feel whatever she was feeling. She nodded slightly as if she finally believed me. I felt a wave of gratitude wash over me for being present, for staying when every instinct seemed unsure. I reminded myself that children need patience more than answers sometimes. Her story unfolded slowly, but with clarity. She shared secrets she had carried alone for days. She spoke about fears that seemed invisible to the world. I offered comfort in silence and reassurance in soft words. I could see the tension leave her face gradually. Her breathing evened out and the trembling in her hands subsided. I felt our bond strengthen in ways I had not expected. The room that had once felt tense now felt warm and safe. I realized that staying had not just helped her. It had helped me too. I learned that love is sometimes about resisting the urge to leave. It is about trusting your instincts and your connection. Her eyes met mine, and for the first time that day I saw relief. A sense of understanding and trust had returned. I felt proud of her courage and thankful for our closeness. I understood that moments like these define the depth of our relationship, and that sometimes the hardest choices lead to the most meaningful connections. I stayed with her until she felt secure and ready to rest, knowing that this moment would stay in both our hearts forever. After that day, our relationship began to feel even stronger. We laughed more freely and shared more openly than before. I realized that the challenge of staying had created a new level of trust. She began to come to me with her worries without hesitation. I noticed that small gestures of affection returned naturally. A hand held a little longer, a hug, a quiet smile. The lessons of that day stayed with me. I learned that children sometimes act out of fear, not defiance. That understanding their emotions takes patience and calm presence. I reflected on how easy it is to obey instructions without thinking. But sometimes the right choice is the harder one. Choosing to stay when asked to leave became a defining moment in my life. It reminded me of the importance of listening with the heart. I saw how my calm presence allowed her to process her fear. Not all problems need immediate solutions. Some just need time, attention, and care. I felt grateful for the opportunity to witness her courage. Her growth and resilience inspired me. I began to notice little changes in how she interacted with others. She became more confident in expressing herself, more willing to ask for help when needed. I realized that moments of crisis can teach lessons we never expected. That sometimes the fear of losing connection is what brings the deepest understanding. I continued to support her with patience and love, without pushing, without judgment. I could see her blossom in small ways each day. Our bond was not just restored, it was stronger than ever. I reflected on the power of presence and attention, how being there even in uncertainty can transform a relationship. This experience showed me that love is about courage, empathy, and patience. I knew that whatever challenges might come, we could face them together. I felt proud of choosing connection over ease, and grateful for the chance to understand her world more deeply. In the days that followed, I noticed subtle changes in her behavior. She seemed lighter, happier, more willing to share her thoughts. I realized that the moment of fear had become a turning point, a test of trust and love that we both passed. Her smile returned with more warmth than before. Her laughter sounded freer and more genuine. I reflected on how powerful it can be to simply stay present, to resist the urge to walk away when things feel uncertain. I saw how much she valued my presence even when she asked me to leave. It reminded me that children often push us away to protect themselves, not because they do not need us. I felt a renewed sense of purpose in our relationship. I promised myself to always be patient and attentive, to recognize when she needed space and when she needed support. This experience deepened my understanding of love and connection. I realized that empathy requires listening without judgment. That trust is built not only through words, but through consistent actions. Her confidence in facing her fears grew each day. She began to talk about things she had once kept secret. I celebrated her courage and resilience quietly in my heart. I understood that moments of fear can become lessons of strength. I learned that being present in silence is sometimes more important than speaking. Our bond became unbreakable through patience, attention, and understanding. I felt grateful for the courage to disobey her initial demand to leave, because that choice had opened the door to a deeper connection. I saw that love is about staying through uncertainty and trusting that connection can heal fear. Her eyes would meet mine now with trust and openness, and I knew that we had both grown from that experience. I felt a quiet pride in our shared journey of patience and understanding. Over time, I realized how much that moment had changed both of us. Our connection deepened in ways I had never imagined. I noticed her becoming more self-assured, more willing to express her feelings. She began to share her dreams and worries without hesitation. I saw the strength that had been hidden behind her fear. I learned to listen not just to words, but to emotions and silences. I recognized that children communicate in ways adults often miss. Her trust in me grew with every calm presence, every patient gesture. I discovered that love is more than affection, it is attention, care, and understanding. I reflected on the day she asked me to leave and the choice I made to stay. That decision became a cornerstone of our relationship. I realized that moments of uncertainty test the bonds we hold most dear, and that courage is sometimes quiet and invisible. She began to seek my advice not out of obligation, but out of trust. Our conversations became more meaningful, deeper, and sincere. I felt a sense of fulfillment seeing her grow through her fears. I understood that fear is temporary, but trust and connection last a lifetime. Her laughter returned to its full brightness, and her eyes sparkled with confidence. I noticed that small gestures of love now held greater significance. A hug, a shared smile, a gentle word, each became a symbol of our bond. I felt proud of choosing to stay when leaving seemed easier. I realized that patience and empathy could transform fear into understanding. Our relationship had grown stronger because of that one challenging moment. I knew that the lessons we learned together would stay with us forever. I felt grateful for the trust she placed in me and the love we shared. That day had taught me that love requires courage, presence, and unwavering attention. Looking back now, I see that day as a turning point in both our lives. It was a moment that tested our bond and revealed the strength of our love. Choosing to stay instead of leaving taught me the true meaning of patience, courage, and trust. I realized that sometimes the hardest decisions create the deepest connections. My granddaughter and I emerged stronger, closer, and more understanding of each other than ever before. Her fear had transformed into confidence, her hesitation into openness, and our relationship into something unbreakable. I learned that love is not always easy. It asks us to stand firm when it would be simpler to walk away. It asks us to listen when words are few and emotions run high. That day showed me that being present can heal invisible wounds and strengthen hearts in ways nothing else can. Our laughter returned brighter, our conversations deeper, our trust unshakable. I knew that whatever challenges life might bring, we could face them together, because we had learned to rely on each other completely. This experience taught me that true love requires courage, consistency, and the willingness to stay even when everything feels uncertain. It reminded me that moments of fear can become opportunities for growth and understanding, and that the bonds built through patience, empathy, and unwavering presence are the ones that last a lifetime. I felt proud, grateful, and inspired by the resilience and bravery my granddaughter had shown. And I knew that our story of trust and love would stay with us forever, shaping the way we face the world and each other. I never thought words from my own granddaughter could freeze me in place and make my heart question everything I believed about family and instinct. She looked at me with serious eyes and told me I had to leave right now. There was no laughter in her voice, no smile, no warning. In that moment, I felt shock rise inside me like cold water. I am a grandmother who trusts her heart, but her words made my heart feel unsure. I want to share this story because it changed the way I see love, trust, and listening. What happened that day was not normal, and it did not feel right. We were sitting together enjoying a calm afternoon, just the two of us. The house felt warm and peaceful and safe. Then suddenly everything shifted without explanation. When she told me to leave, immediately my mind went blank. I wondered if I had done something wrong without knowing. I wondered if I had missed a sign or crossed a line. Her urgency made me feel confused and deeply concerned. I could hear my own breath as I searched her face for answers. This was not how our time together usually felt. My granddaughter and I had always shared comfort and trust. So this moment felt like a storm appearing in a clear sky. I introduced this story to you because it began with disbelief. It continued with fear and confusion. And it ended with a lesson I will carry forever. At that time I had no idea why she wanted me gone. She did not explain or soften her words. She only repeated that I needed to leave now. My instincts told me something was wrong. But I did not know if the danger was for her or for me. I felt torn between respecting her words and protecting our bond. My heart asked me to stay while my mind asked me to go. I thought maybe she was scared or hiding something. I thought maybe she was testing me without meaning to. I had never faced a moment like this with her before. The silence between us grew heavy and uncomfortable. Every second felt longer than the last. I could feel the weight of a choice forming inside me. This was the beginning of a challenge I never expected. A moment where love and obedience stood on opposite sides. And before I knew it, I was standing in the middle, unsure of my next step. I tried to understand the situation without making her feel worse. I asked myself why a child who once ran into my arms now wanted distance. My introduction to this unexpected moment felt unreal. I explained to myself that maybe there was a reason she could not say out loud. Her request felt urgent, like time was against us. I felt a quiet fear building in my chest. I did not want to scare her by asking too many questions. At the same time, I did not want to walk away and regret it forever. I kept thinking about how suddenly her tone had changed. Just minutes before she was laughing and relaxed. Now her shoulders were stiff and her eyes avoided mine. I wondered if something had happened that I did not see. Maybe someone else was involved. Maybe she was protecting me. Maybe she was protecting herself. My confusion grew stronger with every thought. I introduced the idea in my mind that this moment could change us. I felt the responsibility of being a grandmother weigh heavily on me. I had always promised myself to be present in her life. Leaving without understanding felt like breaking that promise. Yet staying against her words felt risky and wrong. I could feel my instincts arguing inside me. One voice said trust her and go. Another voice said trust your heart and stay. I remembered how close we had always been. How she used to tell me everything. How she would come to me when she was scared or unsure. That history made this silence even louder. I tried to read her expressions like a book. Her face showed stress, not anger. Fear, not hate. That detail stayed with me. I thought about all the times adults ignored children and caused pain. I did not want to be that kind of adult. But I also did not want to abandon her in a moment of need. My concern grew into a quiet determination. I told myself I would move carefully. I would not rush or panic. This problem was not just about leaving a room. It was about trust, communication, and love. I realized this challenge required patience, not fear. So I stayed calm even though my heart was racing. I decided to slow the moment down in my mind. To understand before acting. That was when I knew this story was only beginning. As I stood there, I began thinking about our past together. Our relationship had always been filled with warmth and safety. From the day she was born, she became a light in my life. I was there for her first steps, her first words, her first fears. She used to hold my hand tightly whenever she felt unsure. Those memories came rushing back to me. They reminded me that our bond was built on trust. That bond made this moment feel even more painful. I tried to remember if anything had changed recently. Had I said something that hurt her? Had I missed a sign that she was struggling? I searched my memory for clues. Every visit, every conversation, every laugh. Nothing stood out as a warning. She had always been open with me. She used to tell me about her dreams and worries. She trusted me with her small secrets. So why was she pushing me away now? I thought about the events leading up to this day. Everything seemed normal when I arrived. She welcomed me with a smile. We shared stories and snacks. We talked about school and friends. There was no tension in the air. That sudden demand felt like it came from nowhere. It made me question if something unseen was happening. Maybe she was afraid of something she could not explain. Maybe she felt responsible for something beyond her control. The more I thought about it, the more my concern deepened. I realized children sometimes carry heavy fears alone. They do not always know how to ask for help. That thought made my chest ache. I did not want her to face anything alone. I felt a strong need to protect her. At the same time, I did not want to overpower her voice. I reminded myself that listening is also a form of love. This backstory mattered more than I realized, because it explained why leaving felt impossible. Our history was pulling me to stay. It was asking me to trust what we had built together. I took a deep breath and grounded myself in that bond. I knew whatever choice I made would shape our future. That realization made my heart beat even faster. I reached a moment where the choice could no longer be delayed. Standing there, I felt the weight of every second passing. My granddaughter kept looking at the door, then back at me. Her body language showed pressure and fear. My mind kept asking what kind of danger makes a child speak this way. I felt confusion, but also a strong sense of responsibility. I knew that leaving without understanding could hurt her deeply. I also knew that staying might go against her wishes. This inner conflict felt heavier than anything I had faced before. I remembered all the times I had told her I would always be there. Those words echoed inside my heart. I wondered if this was the moment those words were being tested. My instincts told me she needed support, not distance. I could feel that her demand was not coming from anger. It felt like fear pushing her words out quickly. That detail made my decision clearer. I realized that sometimes children push people away when they are scared. They believe sending loved ones away will protect them. That thought changed everything for me. I chose to stay, not to argue, but to understand. I stayed quiet and calm instead of reacting. I wanted her to feel safe enough to speak. I moved slowly and gently, as if sudden actions might break the moment. I reminded myself that love is not always about obedience. Sometimes love means staying steady during chaos. My heart was racing, but my voice remained soft. I told myself that fear should never make us abandon each other, even if the path forward felt uncertain. This decision did not feel brave at the time. It felt terrifying and heavy, but it also felt honest. In that silence, I committed to listening. I committed to patience. I committed to her. That was the moment I decided not to leave. And that choice changed everything that came after. When I chose to stay, I could see the change in her face immediately. Her frustration mixed with confusion, as if she did not expect resistance. She asked again for me to leave, but her voice shook this time. That small tremble told me more than her words ever could. I felt a wave of emotion rush through me. I was afraid of making things worse. But I was more afraid of leaving her alone with whatever fear she was carrying. I stayed seated and kept my movements slow and gentle. I wanted to show her that I was not a threat. I spoke softly and told her I was there for her. I told her she did not have to explain anything right away. Her eyes filled with tears she tried to hide. That moment broke my heart. I realized how heavy her emotions were. Children often believe they must handle fear by themselves. I could feel her struggling between wanting help and wanting control. I reminded myself to be patient. I reminded myself that safety comes from calm presence. The room felt tense but also fragile. Like one wrong move could shatter everything. I focused on breathing and staying grounded. I wanted her to feel that nothing bad would happen just because I stayed. Slowly the silence began to soften. She stopped repeating her demand. Instead, she looked down at her hands. That small shift felt important. It told me she was thinking, not panicking anymore. I waited without pushing, without questioning, without demanding answers. In that waiting, I learned something powerful. Sometimes staying quiet is the loudest form of support. I felt the distance between us slowly shrink. Even though nothing had been said yet, I knew this moment was leading somewhere important.